Alrighty, news of the day. I've got other things that I've got cooking for later today, but this will probably do it for the morning. And that being said, two of the videos I've done so far today have been signings, so you just never know. Maybe we're at that part where, hey, training camp's next Friday, get her done. So a week out from training camp, and Riley Sheahan signed with the Edmonton Oilers. May have something to do with the fact that apparently Kyle Brodziak is likely to miss most of, if not the entire season, with back issues. So, all the best to Brodziak, and hopefully he gets back on it and gets himself going. Speaking of injuries, Hugh Levy, Vancouver Canucks bust. He's only 21 years of age. But I understand why people look at him and they go, Matt Tkachuk. And the thing is, it's not really Hugh Levy's fault. Now, Hugh Levy's saying all the right things, and the Canucks are saying all the right things. But his actual knee injury and what he's been going through has been kind of, I don't know. You wonder just how bad it is, and just how the fact that the Canucks aren't talking a whole lot about it, and he's not talking a whole lot about it, it makes me concerned that maybe it's something worse than they're saying it is. They are expected to take their time with him, and he may or may not be ready. And they've said that he may play every day. He may take part in practices every single day of training camp, or he may end up having to sit out some days, some games, or whatever. So we'll see where things are with Hugh Levy. And honestly, with the Canucks blue line, if Hugh Levy was able to play a regular shift this year and play top 6 minutes, on top of the addition of Quinn Hughes, that could be huge for the Canucks. Now, Hugh Levy's never going to make people forget about Matt Tkachuk. Nobody's got that in their minds. However, if he can be a regular contributor, and if he doesn't cost them, if he's a solid, well-rounded defenseman, that would definitely help. San Jose did something kind of strange today. They hired Ned Colletti, who was the Los Angeles Dodgers general manager, as a scout. It's one of those things where a guy crosses over from one sport to the other, and you think, really? That's kind of weird. And then the next thing I want to do is talk about Aaron Sanchez being out for the rest of the year with Houston, and how much I think that sucks. That sucks because I'm an Aaron Sanchez fan. But then I remember I'm the hockey guy. I'm not supposed to talk about the Houston Astros, who I really hope that with Sanchez might take another run at it. But with Sanchez out, we just don't know. So there you go. Baseball coming over to hockey. How do you guys feel in San Jose about this? Is it weird? I think it's weird. I think it's strange. Also in the weird, strange is the fact that Mangiapane is still holding out. And apparently it has nothing to do with Tkachuk. This is not they're just trying to figure out the number on Tkachuk and then they can sign Mangiapane. No, this is separate. This is not being dealt with that way at all. And apparently it's a $200,000 difference. That's what I believe Sportsnet's reporting, is that it may be a $200,000 difference between what the team's offering and what he wants. Get it done. Just saw it off in the middle. Just give him $100K over what you want to give him. He can take $100K less than he's demanding, and get him on the ice, because Mangiapane towards the end of last year looked pretty darn good, and it would be a shame if that got derailed by some kind of a contract holdout. So hopefully they get that straightened out, because I like him. I may not be a huge Flames fan, but I like Mangiapane. He's a good player. Jeremy Jacobs kind of caught us all off guard today. The 80-year-old owner of the Boston Bruins said, hey, I am handing over control of this team to my 6 children. He's 80 years of age, so it's not like he's handing it off to 20-year-olds. Although when you hear, hey, he's giving it to his kids, your first thought is, really? But 2 of his sons were already alternate governors in the Board of Governors. He's been the owner of the Bruins since 1975, and Jeremy Jacobs has been the hardline owner. He's very often been blamed, right or wrong, he's been blamed for certain past issues we've had with labor unrest between the players and the owners. So if Jeremy Jacobs is out, that could definitely help clear the path for some labor peace, depending on whether or not his kids are of the same ilk and if they believe in the hardline stance against certain player demands as well. He was the Board of Governors chairman since 2007, so they're going to have to name a new Board of Governors chairman, you would think. Although this hasn't been confirmed yet that they're going to go through all of this right away. Jacob stepping down. You know what? Very successful owner. Boston's been a very well-run franchise for the most part. Got got, of course, the Stanley Cup in 2011. They made it to the finals in this past season in 88 and 90 as well under his watch. And, of course, there was the Stanley Cup final in the late 70s as well. But yeah, Boston, we'll see what happens with new ownership, if that changes anything. I'm not thinking that it will, but again, for those of us looking for labor peace, this could end up being good news. Because he would normally be very vocal about how I don't like this and I don't like that. And going back to some comments he's made over the last year or two regarding he wants a team in Houston and he doesn't think Quebec is good, like big enough or strong enough to support an NHL team. Well, now that voice is out of the room. Although I still think Houston's going to get a team. One of their major supporters is now no longer a voice in the room. And for fans in Quebec, there's one guy who would have voted down a team in Quebec who is now going to be off the board of governors and won't have a say in it. And I wanted to end this off with Patrik Laine. Laine's front and center right now in a lot of trade proposals and a lot of talk about, hey, if they can't get him signed, they should trade him. Honestly, I think they'd be crazy to trade Patrik Laine, and here's why. So Laine had a 30-goal season last year, and he scored 18 of those goals in November. And so you can look at it and say, well, he had 44 goals the 1 year already. He's already scored over 100 goals. He's 21 years of age. He's going to be a great goal scorer for a long time. Or you can look and go, his game isn't great all around. He needs to work on a lot of things. He's still a work in progress. The Winnipeg Jets would be crazy to trade him only because they're not going to get back as much as I think they would want to. And if they trade him and he becomes a 50-goal scorer somewhere else, which is absolutely possible, they look terrible afterwards. So they have to sign him. And that's why I put up here, Laine talk is from everywhere except from the Jets themselves. I do not believe that Laine is on the market. I don't think there's any intention of trading him because, again, his market value right now would be lower than it would make any sense for the Jets to trade him. Don't panic trade Patrik Laine. Just, cross your fingers and hope that all the sane voices in the room take over and he ends up signing an extension there. It is very interesting because we are now 1 week away from most of these training camps opening. So now's a good time. If you're going to sign a contract extension, now's a really good time because you got a week until training camp starts. The rookie camps are already, of course, in full swing, and the rookie tournaments are this weekend. So it's going to be very interesting next week as we see some of these rookies getting highlight reel goals and saves and whatnot. And it's going to be a very, very interesting week ahead as we get towards training camp. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below regarding this or any of these topics. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. Just happened upon this video. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.